Hi, today we will be taking a look at one of the difficult tasks in structural reinforcement, removing a failed lintel and replacing it. We join Gary Wilkinson, Target Structural Regional Director of the Wessex franchise, getting the new lintel ready for transportation to site. It will be replacing the existing concrete and wrought iron lintel that has been in place since the 60s. Time to make our way to Sidmouth to go to site. The beautiful seaside town of Sidmouth, a former fishing and market town, later famed for being a popular destination to holiday for the royal family. As you can see here, this is the pre-existing iron lintel that has corroded. It has corroded to the point that the centre only has a couple of mil left and holes have started to appear. Water has got into the cavity wall and corroded the lintel and rotted the floor joist on the corner. Over time, this has caused the masonry to move, causing cracking internally and externally, whilst also making the wall start to bulge on the corner. This shows here. Acro props with strong buoys are used to hold up the masonry while works are being performed. The internal wall, we have installed bar flex to repair the cracking that has been caused on the inside by the masonry movement. This will stop further movement internally. To remove and replace the lintels, Gary will be using a genie lift. This calls for finding the centre points and perfect weight distribution, so there is no tipping with such large weights at height. As they finish setting the genie up, it is time to assess removing the concrete lintel first. The concrete lintel sits on top of the iron lintel, has two lengths of rebar running through the centre, and the guys have to break behind it to make sure the connection is completely cut. If this isn't done properly, it could pull internal bricks out and causing severe damage, not to mention failing masonry. So the guys get to work on breaking the lintel free of its 60 plus years home. As you can see from this time lapse, the concrete lintel is starting to move and break free. The guys are being very careful to make sure it comes out in one piece. And there we have it, the first lintel is free and brought down to be broken up into small transportable pieces. So the next is the iron lintel. This has been bolted down on two pillars, however it has corroded to the point of welding itself to the top of the pillar platforms and requires manually cutting out with a small handheld grinder. So part 2 begins as the guys raise the genie ready for removal of the iron lintel. This requires patience. The lintel needs to be free of the platforms they are on and to bring it out slowly so it can be lowered safely. This requires carefully raising on each side The guys tip the lintel to its side so it can be brought out underneath the acros without clipping them with disastrous consequences. And there it is, the iron lintel is out. It did not want to go easily, but the guys have done a great job to remove it safely. Now the structure is being held up by the acros with perfect weight and balance, not to mention science. As you can see, it's heavily corroded and was in desperate need of replacement. Now it's time for the big guy. The new lintel is raised to height. It is a tight fit to get in, but it needs to be to do its job as the replacement. Gary looks on cautiously as Steve looks from below at the raised lintel. To get the new lintel in, it requires tipping it forward so it can then be pushed into place. It is a fiddly job as the acros reduce movement, but the guys make it look easy. And that's it. Both sides are in. The genie is lowered, and there it is, one fully replaced lintel. This will keep this home structurally sound long into the future. If you are having any structural issues with your property or would like a survey to make sure, contact us today. Don't let those structural issues get more costly and put your mind at ease.